Hi, this is Mark with my analysis for the week commencing the 5th of March. Now, this week is NFP week, so as ever, this is likely to be a wild ride, and then it'll slow down Friday morning, as we presume, and then it could go crazy on the jobless figures announcement on Friday afternoon. So, how to trade this week? Well, the thing to do is be careful, but just before we go into looking at the longer time frames, let me show you a clip of the performance of the 1 hour trigger system last week. And I also showed you in last week's live training session, those of you who are with us, how to use it and how it had been doing very well. And I showed you a potential trade on the New Zealand dollar, which also fired after that meeting. Before we go into that segment, now let's have a quick look at what is due this week. You've got big Aussie dollar cash rate news, which is unlikely to change, we presume, but it depends on the RBA statement. CAD trade balance. On Wednesday, then, we have the annual budget release from the UK, as well as ADP non-farm employment change in the USA. Thursday, big one for the euro. Do not trade the euro Thursday morning and wait till the dust settles afterwards. You've got the bid rate, and then after that, we have the ECB press conference, when Draghi will give a clue as to what he's going to do next. He is under pressure from some German politicians to start to ease, but he'd already said he was going to continue that process through until December. And Friday, no Forex please, it is NFP day, and this will influence greatly whether the Fed are going to raise rates or not. If this is a positive number, then it's almost nailed on that the Fed are going to raise interest rates by another 0.25% later in the month. If this came out surprisingly bad, then that could have a very negative impact on the USD. So don't trade Friday is my best recommendation. But this is what happened with the 1 hour system last week. Just a review of the 1 hour trigger system this week. I showed you in the live session how the New Zealand dollar was breaking down again. You could have been in this for a lot earlier, and how it has now gone over 100 pips. I also showed the Aussie dollar. Now, I explained with the Aussie dollar, I wasn't touching it because at the time it had already done its daily range, and as it was, it has now pulled back up, and therefore it was a good decision to take the New Zealand dollar over that one. Other ones we had this week, we had the euro pound, a break of the high here, went 80 odd pips. Euro yen again, a break of the high, went 160 pips. USD yen went 135 at best. It's now pulled back and would have taken you out. This is the USD CAD, and the USD CAD on a longer time frame, we were waiting for a break of 132.13.15 area, and on the 1 hour system here, it did it perfectly, got us in. It went 200 odd pips altogether, 170 at this moment in time. Now, I explained that I had been recently trying to leave these trades to run longer, but if you follow the rules, you risk one block to make 2 blocks. You would have banked hundreds and hundreds of pips this week. It's not a wonder system. It doesn't work without understanding what's going on behind the scenes, understanding especially support and resistance. But in current markets, when we've not been getting the follow through, this has been extremely profitable now for over 6 months. Trading from longer time frames has been frustrating this year. This is the euro pound. The euro pound is clearly inside a triangle, and as I've explained before, this tends to bounce and stop at the whole number. So 84, 85, 86, 87. Now, last week it did the bounce at 8400, and had you caught that major support and resistance, it's 230 odd pips in profit. It's now coming up to a major important area, 8700. So the ways to play this, I will place a short where they stop just the other side of this area around 87.25. If that fails and this breaks and closes, this could be then a huge move. And the way to work out the triangle breakout is you measure the size of the triangle, and that is 1275 pips potential move here. This could go a long way, all the way to parity. Equally, if it bounces back down again, and as you see, we get nearer and nearer to the points of the triangle, if it was to break down this way, it could go 1200 odd pips, and that would be down to around 72. So it is a major area, and it is frustrating at the moment. But as explained in the live training session, you need to be flexible at the moment. One of the things to note with the euro pound, so you've got 8400 there, was clearly significant. We also had the 200 EMA on a daily there, and what did it do? It came down, it bounced off it, and away it went. And as I explained the other day, this pair seems to respect the 200 EMA more than most, and it did it previously in November of last year. It did it previously in June of last year. May it broke through, but then respected it and went back up again. Here it was resistance, became support. Here it was resistance, did get a bit messy, but then going back all the way back to 2014, see how every time price came up to this EMA, it bounced back down again. Again, interacted here, March 2014, back down again. It is a significant EMA on this pair, and therefore if the longer time frames are not working, go down to, well, in this case a daily, but look at other reasons why price is likely to bounce in an area. So if it comes back down again, look to long. If it goes back up to 87, look to short. And if it breaks either of the areas, look for a big potential explosive triangle break. For those of you not sure about triangle breaks, this is the USD yen. And the USD yen, I showed you prior to Christmas how this was in a triangle and that the potential move on this one was going to be 1200 and odd pips. And what did it do? It finally broke, and this one went 1200 and odd pips. So the theory does work a lot of the time, and it's something we always need to be aware of. We're now in another triangle with this USD, and this is weekly, remember guys, 1,000 pip potential break. Now my bias on this pair is to long, and therefore if we get a breakout here, I'm looking for a break above 115, pull back and off we go. Could be on for 1,000 pipper, and equally if it breaks back down again, we could be on for 1,000 pipper back down again. So watch it carefully. And as you can see here on the daily, that has been a major area of recent support and resistance, and therefore if it pulls back down to 111.70 area, I will look to long as well. For a short on this pair, I would need it to break and close below that trend line I've shown you, and also really I would prefer it to break below these EMAs at least. This is the USD CAD, and I showed you how we could get into this last week on the 1 hour trigger system. Major area coming up with this one for potential move back down. Certainly an area for it to pause is around 3600. See how important it has been in the past. Personally, I wouldn't long it now. If you're not in it now, leave it. Somebody was asking me about the head and shoulders pattern. You have a head, shoulder, shoulder, and they're saying, did it break? No, it's not broken as yet. Unless this starts to move up too near the head, then we could still be on for a big move down on this. Remember, as ever, watch oil. If oil starts to crash, the USD CAD should strengthen, and vice versa. However, there are also fundamentals going on at the moment. The CAD is interest rates are low and likely to stay that way, and the USD conversely are likely to put their rates up. And as you know, growth, inflation, interest rates are the reasons for currencies to strengthen. So we do expect the USD CAD to strengthen, but as technical traders, we take it whichever way it goes. Euro bouncing around, it keeps bouncing off major areas. Major area on this one for me, 108.50 I'm interested to short, and if that breaks 110, watch the Swissy. If the Euro's going up, the Swissy should be going down. If you trade the Swissy, then as ever, you're going to be looking around 97 for a long back up, and you're going to be looking around 100, 1.03 for a potential short back down. Pound did make a break last week, made some new lows. This is on a daily, so it finally broke this area here. I would be interested to short this if we get anywhere back up around 125.00, but it is the budget week this week, and you've got the other things going on with the Fed and the ECB. So it's not easy. Similarly, the Aussie dollar yen, we're in an uptrend. All the EMAs are pointing up. It did break, and then it sat on this 200 EMA. So potential long from where it is now, but personally I would go down to a 1 hour system to watch this one. And that's it for me. In general, I'm going to focus on the shorter time frames this week for reasons explained earlier. Okay, hope that helps. Have a good week. Catch you later.